what is the role of trail cameras in deer hunting today? You know, gosh, it's gotten to the point when we go on a hunt for the TV show, we take a Reconyx with us on every hunt. And the first thing I do when we get there, this is my main man Matthew's job, is to be sure that we get that Reconyx up either where we're hunting or at one of the alternative places that we're going to be hunting, because I want to find a deer. I want to find a deer that I know we're hunting. There aren't big bucks everywhere. You better be hunting where they are. You're not going to shoot one.
Right.
And so we put 1 or 2 Reconyx up right away, and after the first day, we're checking those cameras to see if we can find a deer that we need to focus on, because you know, killing a big buck, finding him is a big part of it.
It's like being in 2 stands at once, what you're doing there.
Exactly.
And I love trail cameras in order to get pictures of all the bucks in the property. It allows me to unique all the bucks in the property, and then with those photos of all of those unique bucks, I can estimate age, I can estimate score, I can determine which bucks are most likely to meet the shoot list and which bucks we want to put on the don't shoot list. So you end up with a shoot, don't shoot list that it's awesome.
That's the manager in you speaking right there. Biggie wants to control what's harvested on land you're managing. And here you can say, you know, this buck is 4.5. He's a great buck, but we don't need to shoot him. He's not old enough yet.
Exactly.
Invaluable, invaluable.
Right. And just like Mick, you know, I want to know what's out there. I want to know who I'm hunting. I want to know who's coming in for the rut, who's going to spend his time there in the summer, who's going to be there late season on the food. For me, that's where a trail camera is.
And who's there yesterday?
And who was there yesterday. And you know what? How many bucks have we killed and then went back and checked the camera and we got the picture of them the night before?
Yeah.
You know?
That's right.
That for me, that's such a valuable tool with trail camera.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know what I did without them.
Yeah. It does make you wonder, doesn't it?
That's right. It has definitely changed the playing field. I tell you, for me, especially, you know, I manage a lot of small tracks, and really hunting pressure. That's the key. Trying to limit that hunting pressure in these small tracks. And trail cameras allowed me to go out and put trail cameras on these, multiple trail cameras on these tracks like this. Now sometimes I'll leave them a week at a time, and I'll go in there one time, check all those trail cameras in there, sneak out, usually in the middle of the day. Man, I tell you what, that has really increased our success rates on the harvesting these mature bucks.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, to expand a little bit on what you said, I think, you know, you go into a piece of property cold turkey and you set up several trail cameras in several different areas, and you really can locate. You see that same buck on the same pictures coming out down the same trail or coming out in the same food plot from the same brushy area. You can really locate that buck and kind of have an idea of where he is, where you need to set up on him.
Absolutely.
It's real-time information.
Yeah,
you're getting it right there that moment.
And react to it now. If he's there now, you better get over there. You better get over there. You know, on my ranch in South Texas, I use trail cameras, but my girls love to hunt, and they love to hunt on their own. And a lot of times, they have a little bit of challenge aging these deer, and we like to shoot a deer at the right time. I use trail cameras just like you do, Mickey. We'll find a picture of a deer. He's a deer that they want to shoot. I age him right there, and I say, this is a deer you can go after. It allows me to let my wife or my daughters or a friend of mine or my son-in-laws to go and say, this is a deer, he's on the ebony stand. Go over there and see if you can find him. If you find him, you shoot this deer. And it allows me to free myself up, because I can't be everywhere with them and try to help age these deer.
Yeah, and they know what the rack looks like, the configuration. They can now identify that buck that you've told them they can shoot, and they're not going to shoot the wrong buck.
That's exactly right. It eliminates mistakes.
And you know, a trail camera, the dependability of a trail camera is just as important as our scope, our bow, and our rifle. And Reconyx gives us that, don't they?
Yeah, you can't beat a Reconyx. You put that thing out, when you go back, you're going to know that you're not going to have black pictures. You're going to have pictures of the deer.
It's worth every penny in it.
It's
worth every penny with the Reconyx.
It's false economy to buy a cheap camera. You know it?
You got it.
Dave, one thing too, I'll tell you what's really helped me is the confidence that I have. You know, when you know you got a big deer and you got a picture of him, you know, that particular area in there, I'm willing to sit on the stand a lot longer, a lot more time.
Exactly.
Spend a lot more time on the stand.
A lot more patience knowing he is there.
That's
he just
right.
has to show up. And you know, when you got a piece of property, and let's say it's a fairly sizable piece of property, and there's a big deer on it, how valuable it is to know that he's in this area. If you stay there long enough, the odds are in your favor. They're in your favor. Because if you're hunting a mile away for a deer that's not there, you're not going to kill him.
That's right.
You're not going to kill him.
That's a key point Mick said earlier. Not only do you know with the camera if he's there, if he's not there.
Yeah. But you know, one thing I've noticed too, on infrared pictures, have you ever noticed how they tend to shrink a deer down?
Yeah,
night pictures.
You can add 10 inches to any picture.
Color makes, you know.
You know, I have on many times looked at a deer on infrared and I say, he's a good deer, he's a nice deer. And then when I see that deer in person, like, whoa, goodness. They tend to shrink them down. So study those infrared pictures.
It's the nighttime infrared pictures seem to add 10 inches. That's a rule of thumb. If you think he's a 150, he's a 160.
Yeah, exactly. They're always bigger than they look on those infrared pictures. You're right, the color pictures are pretty accurate. They're pretty true too. But those infrared pictures, be careful, because I let my daughter shoot a buck we had on an infrared camera, and I thought it was a mid-180s deer, a giant 180s deer. She shot it, it was a 202. Net Boone and Crockett non-typical. I had never killed a Boone and Crockett non-typical. And if that camera hadn't lied to me, I was glad my daughter killed that deer. Cameras are an invaluable tool, and they're fun. They're fun. They let you know what's on your property, and with these big mature bucks, a lot of them are invisible a lot of the year. They kind of roll the curtain back and tell you what's really out there. Yep. They add to your enjoyment of the hunt.